Hello, my friends. How are we doing today? I hope you all are doing well. Just got a new announcement from Scopely, so I've read through it, wanted to go through it, kind of share some of my thoughts and read through it a little bit here and get your feedback, your thoughts. I do like when Scopely gives us kind of a heads up of what's coming. Back in the day, they didn't used to. They used to have this idea of let's just wait until until ARK launch and surprise the players and create that hype. But I think this does a better job of that personally. So we've got this Season Defend new Solo Outposts. And as we'll go through this, it's not an armada. So make sure that you are aware of that heading into it. We'll have to talk more about it as we hop into it. As I've read through it, it sounds pretty interesting. The one hesitation always with Scopely, because they release content so frequently, is what is the quality of the implementation going to be, okay? So that's kind of up in the air. We'll have to figure that out. And I think it's also going to depend how successful it is what the rewards actually look like, right? All right, so we've got Solo Outposts, or Outposts are active for the full 2 months of the Deep Space Nine Retribution ARK. So we know what ARK is coming. After the ARK, they will return as a recurring live feature at set times each month. So it's not going to be something you're going to do all the time. It's probably going to be like, for example, the Krenum, where we have a monthly event for it, and you'll do these during that time. They're not hostiles and not armadas. This is key, officers or abilities that only work against hostiles or armadas will not apply. So, this kind of gets tricky with certain people, even myself. I have to kind of think through it and talk to players when I get confused with it. So I'm going to be 100% transparent on that. Sometimes I get confused too. But if you have hostiles, for example, if you look at the Voyager crew, like Below Deck, for example, Neelix, B'Elanna Torres, Harry Kim, they say that they work against hostiles. So they won't work here, is what it looks like according to this. There's always the chance the Scopely won't code things right, but they're intended to not work against these. Are guarded by wave-based retaliation attackers. So what it sounds like is you're going to start these, you're going to have to defend them with crews. It's going to be interesting. I think you're going to start with two crews. We'll work through this, but I think you're going to have them locked up where it's basically, well, let's go through it and see if I can find it really quick here, because I think it's up to like 6 hours. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Attacks every 5 minutes. Repel up to 72 total attacks across 6 hours. So you're going to plan this out. If you have something like I don't know, some timed event that comes every single month and you need your ships. If you're mining, be careful of how many ships you need to mine with. Some people mine with a whole bunch of, like, all of their slots. Not going to be a thing if you need to leave 2 or 3 ships attacking these things, or not attacking these things, defending these things. So there's going to be some planning that's going to have to go into it. A powerful new targets found across the galaxy. Once discovered, spend outpost strike directives. So we'll have to find out about the sourcing on that. Hopefully the sourcing for the free-to-play isn't totally sucky, totally limited. We'll have to find out. If it is, you're just going to have to save them probably, I guess, and be as efficient as you can with them. It makes me wonder if it's only once per month as a mostly free-to-play myself. Is it really even worth it spending money to upgrade the station? It sounds like it's going to be something that's going to have to just, if it's slow and go, once a month. Creating a problem here, the problem's going to be scarcity. I can see that already. So increase or upgrade your outpost command center to increase the number of ships you can send into combat. Once your outpost is defeated, all ships are participated will be docked onto the outpost. In the battle will be docked in the outpost. Each outpost holds a unique set of buffs, which can be upgraded while you hold the outpost. So there will be some strategy on the different types of outposts and the buffs, it sounds like. While holding an outpost, retaliation attackers will occasionally spawn and try to retake it. Defend these attacks to get additional rewards. The longer you survive, the better your rewards. That makes sense. So you probably have incremental like difficulty. So the more the more waves you survive, the harder they'll get. I'm guessing when your outpost falls or you survive an incoming attack, the outpost expires and any dock ships are released. Yay! I hope that's true. You never know with this game. Any outpost buffs or upgrade are reset to 0, but all rewards gained along the way are capped. Yay! Exchange loot, you gain outpost refiner to unlock exclusive rewards. Build the control center, generate materials with new station services, passively produces constructing outposts, the center unlocks material fragment, passively produces material fragments you can convert into refined or crystal gas, depends upon the conversion. If it's once a month, I hope that this is worth it. We'll have to see. Use material fragment. I'm guessing hopefully it will be, but hopefully it's not like the refinery, which is kind of passive in a way. I mean, you have to mine, but not much else. Material fragment warehouse to expand capacity. Launch and capture. Spend directives to attack. You have to leave them in the encounter until they're defeated. The battles will occur automatically when the countdown hits 0 for each wave. So it's interesting. I think it says it here. Once captured, let's see, every 5 minutes. Only the ships that capture the outpost can defend it. You cannot reinforce or replace them. So just send them on out. Withdrawing a ship abandons the outpost. So don't do that. Don't waste your directives. 6 hours. That's kind of crazy to me. If you're participating, for example, like in arenas, holy crap, 6 hours. Just try and plan this out. Hopefully Scopely's got some good kind of timeline of when they're going to be doing these. This could be something to do that would be good, in my opinion, in something in the week between arcs, obviously in the month of of this launch, that, you know, they won't do that, but I'm guessing, and hopefully they'll have a good way to coordinate it with the players so it doesn't conflict with other events, you know what I mean, when you need your ships. The final 30 are wave 2 with tougher enemies and bigger rewards. Attackers target based on the combat triangle. I like that. That's good. I'm glad they thought of that. For example, a battleship will focus on explorers first if one is present, so that's good. And your defending ships cannot be targeted by other players and cannot activate their own abilities such as cloaking, field repair. So that's nice. That's nice. While you hold an outpost, you can activate temporary buffs. We'll have to look at that. All solo outposts share diverted power, which sets the floor for critical hit damage they take. Independent outposts, Cardassian outposts, Node outposts, and Borg outposts. There's different types with different abilities that you will have to battle with and contend with. The independent ones are designed for us all to kind of learn how to do them. And then these different ones will have different abilities, loot, stuff like that. So cool. Capturing outposts grants currency you can trade for grade-specific resources and materials in the outpost refinery. You can also earn more currency for each successful 5-minute defense. Okay, good. You can get retaliation medals, defending against retaliation attacks, exchange them for high-level tier rewards such as Epic Officer Nog. Okay. Hijacked refits, Galactic Acclaim. Okay. Building currencies and rare title Outpost Adept. Yes, go for the titles. Retaliation plunder earned by defeating Wave 2 attackers, exchanged for USS Vengeance blueprints. That will be of interest to the 70 level crowd, I'm sure. Epic Officer, the Hierarch Premium Mirror Dust, that is needed to be added to the game, but we'll have to see how much that is actually being added. Because I feel like this is a great addition. That premium mirror dust is super difficult to get. So that's great. They're adding something else to the game. But once again, it comes down to implementation. Is this going to be like 10 more per week, or is it going to be like 100 or 1,000? You know, what is it going to be? Select prime particles. That will be interesting to see what prime particles are there. And epic title Outpost Master. And then here's another thing that gets me. Outpost Battle Pass. Can we just pause for a minute and say, count how many battle passes there are in the game now? Now listen, they have to make money, and I'm just going to say this really quick here. I know they have to make money, but I just hope that the battle passes are worth the spend. Otherwise, that's an epic fail, Scopely. So I think you need to maybe look at that, because I don't mind you trying to sell stuff if it's actually valuable. I may not buy it because it may not be in my budget, but others may, and just make sure it's worth the spend, right? So that's my big thing on battle passes. But I also start to wonder at some point, like a lot of players, people just get so ticked off that you keep like monetizing the game like crazy. And I guess the question I have is, are the players going to be really ticked off at you just constantly? How many battle passes are you going to have? 20 battle passes a month? I mean, we have one for each day? I don't know. So you can let me know what you think in the comments down below, by the way. It's got different locations for outposts listed here across Federation, Klingon, and Romulan space. And it has locations for the different ones there. I'll leave these, try and scroll through a little slowly so you can see these, and pause it in the video if you want to, or you can look at the article yourself, or we can talk about it in game. That's cool too. Being officers whose ability work in any encounter, hostile only and armada only abilities will not trigger here. Plan for a session that can last up to 6 hours. Don't forget that. That's important. I'm not a big fan of that. I wish it was smaller, but at least if it's during like a 1 week period, or maybe not in one week period, I misspoke. Maybe it's only if it's like for a day or two, you know, you just plan those 1 or 2 days more carefully. Use combat triangle. Yep, want to do that. Upgrade the outpost center for more loot. Yep, very, very good point. Keep the outpost held to maintain your temporary buffs for both defense and your wider fleet. New tests of endurance and resource planning with real growth paths and meaningful rewards. Hopefully that's just not you shooting something at your butt, but it's actually true. We'll have to see what the rewards look like when they actually come out. If I'm being honest here, this is kind of like wave defense, but instead of you having to actively go out and target hostiles, it sounds like it's going to automatically do it for you. So I don't know about you all, but I've always been a big fan. Like, I remember years ago, I would spend hours a day when I should be studying in school. I would spend hours a day sometimes playing these tower defense games where, you know, you had these soldiers coming down this path and you had these locations where you could build the towers, and you were trying to build these towers and upgrade the towers to take on tougher and tougher enemies before they got to the final destination, your base. If it took enough damage, you lost. I think that's the theme with wave defenses, but this is kind of a little bit like the same thing but different, just because it's another wave defense type mechanic, if you ask me, but it's just a different way of doing it. So bottom line is going to come down to me on execution, which Copley's never been great. From the get-go, they always seem to implement something so quick that it's not ready to launch, that it has a bad implementation, and you get yourselves in trouble, Scopely, because you release something that's not ready, it flops, and it upsets the player. So I'm hoping that enough thought has gone into this that it's not like that. But hopefully the rewards are worth it, and that there's a good balance between, you know, the free-to-play not getting totally screwed because, because of the bad implementation, whether it's not enough directives to launch, or the rewards are super crappy, or the amount of time investment and energy put into it is not enough. But hopefully it gives a good challenge, and that we can, a community, you get really engaged in trying to figure out, okay, what are the best crews? What are some good ships I want to use? Things like that to really make it worth your time. But there's also a balance for those whales, those big spenders who want to buy the directives, that want to go out and just take out the tougher targets. The thing that's the most fun to me in this game is when I'm given a challenge, something I can come up with some creative crews on, and something I can see a progression where I'm constantly working on something, improving, and I see myself progressing. But if it's so slow that I just feel like this isn't worth my time, then I might as well give up. Hopefully it's not that. So, anyways, here's the quick look at this new mechanic coming into the game. Tell me what you think down below, and I guess we'll talk to you next time, and we'll see what this coming month has for us. Live long and prosper, Commanders.